Hey there, it's Cash Bear Mama. I got a new coin counter. Woohoo! Oh yeah. It came in all wonky. It was the top of the box. There was no top. It was tore off, like it had a fight during transit, but I think it had a fight from the person that sent it, and they just hurried up and sent it. And just, I mean, this thing got here so fast, it was a shame. It was moving. And I was like, it got here awfully fast. You order it one day and it showed up really quick, like, I'm here. And I said, okay, there you are. And the mail person put it in the mailbox, and there it was. But today, while I'm doing that, I'll talk to you about Aunt Wocky. Aunt Wocky, who actually, in my family is very quiet. Don't disturb anybody. You know, you got your everyday person who might drink a lot, but they don't bother anybody. They sit in the corner and drink, you know, that type of thing. They don't hurt anybody. And what they call the new generation has stepped in. So we have had 3 that just went rogue, okay, in the family. And so we'll talk about them as we go along, but usually there's no murders and all that stuff. Nobody, but usually somebody murders somebody in our family. We don't go out and murder somebody outside, you know. But this one, she murdered somebody, you know, got life in prison, and my family's like, what happened? And, you know, go find out. And so I'm sending them articles and looking on the internet. And matter of fact, I saw the other day, they brought it back up. It was on A&E, and I went, oh, there she is again, you know. So I remember when I saw it on the news, it was on the national news when they had captured her. And I said, oh my, it is her. And I'm standing in front of the TV, getting closer and closer to see the features. And I'm like, oh no. And I'm calling the relatives, and they're going, what? Really? Oh, let me turn the TV on, you know. So, yeah, our family's relatively quiet. We don't do stuff like that. And you get kind of ostracized for doing something like that. They were in shock. They've never had anybody do that type of thing. But anyway, I'm going to count in my coin counter and tell you about Aunt Wocky. And some of us call her aunties, pretend aunties. But anyway, she was married to my uncle, and she always told us, we were kids, oh, I'm a nurse. You know, we'd go over there. Oh, I'm a nurse. I said, okay, she's a nurse. Didn't, you know, if you're a nurse, you're a nurse. Whoopie-doo, you know. It's like, whatever, you know. Go over there and play, and we just assumed she was a nurse, right? So anyway, she invited me and my cousin over for a weekend. It was really like Friday and Saturday. It felt longer. You know, when you're younger, days go into days and you're thinking you're there forever. You know, it's like you're waiting on Christmas, and Christmas takes 2 years to get here until you get older and you find out it's 2 days and it's back. So she had invited us over for slumber party. We made brownies and all that. And my cousin was calling her Aunt Wocky. Aunt Wocky, Aunt Wocky, Aunt Wocky. And I'm going, And I started too, you know, Aunt Wocky, Aunt Wocky, Aunt Wocky, you know. And not thinking, I was young. I was probably about 4, 5. And went over there, came back, of course. And she goes, and I told my mom, well, Aunt Wocky, we did this and we did that, you know. We baked brownies, took us to the movies, and my mom's froze, and my dad just kind of looked up. I saw him looking up over the newspaper, like, something ain't right. I peeped over at him, and he was like, And she said, that woman is not my sister. I said, whoops. I'm thinking in my head. And I said, okay, I got it, you know. And so she invited us back. I don't know when. I told you when you're young, your mind is thinking, you know. But anyway, she was quite thrilled to have us. She wanted us to come back over. we go back over and we're talking. And she goes, something blah, 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 blah. And my cousin goes, Aunt Wocky. And then I just go, Wocky. Because I already got the message from my mom. You're not her sister. Which means you're not my aunt. Okay. And I'm sitting there going, which meant also uncle was not our uncle. Okay. But anyway, we'll get to that too. And I'm sitting there, she looked at me, Wonky did, and went, I am your aunt. And I'm sitting there going, no, my mom said, you're not her sister. And she just looked like she was going to blow up. You see people look like they're going to blow up. You just stand there looking at them, and they start swelling up, face swelling up, looking. And she had a slight attitude, but she didn't push it because anything. She wasn't like me about it, you know, but I could tell she wasn't thrilled. Sister was not thrilled. And went home. And that was kind of the end of it. I didn't hear anything about it because one thing, after I got older, I knew she wasn't going to cross my parents at all on that. And my parents have always told me, we will always tell you the truth. And they always never said, which I kind of hate sometimes, where you tell your kids that's uncle or that's aunt, and then they think they grow up believing that. You know, my uncle right now, he think all the cousins, which is my mother's brother, think all the cousins thought he's really our uncle. And I'm going, he's only my uncle. You know, he's my mom's brother. He's your cousin. And they're so in shock. They were so in shock about it. But what was so funny, all the older ones knew it. Oh, yeah, we know he wasn't. Well, you know, why don't you tell your kids? Because it's filtering in. They don't know it. You're assuming they know things. Or you're assuming it'll get straightened out when they get older. And what if something happens to you and it never gets straightened out? And my uncle, who's now got dementia, is now going, you're not related to me, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, whatever. I'm over here. I'm going to stay over here. Leave me alone. He's kind of jealous anyway. He was, later on after I got older, my parents did such a great job with their finances. They were probably the only ones in the family that owned a house, bought a house. He bought a house, but he didn't buy a very nice house, and he lived in it till his wife, and I could tell because his wife had said something about, we could have had a nicer house if you hadn't went out and bought that old crazy looking boat, because the boat's not worth anything now. He's been trying to sell that boat for the last 10 years, and nobody wants it. And so, let me get this down. We can't see. Say something. But anyway, so I kind of knew then, you know, because I think they got 2 bedrooms, and we had 3 bedrooms at the time. But I found out that a lot of people were jealous of my parents. My parents worked hard, and in the family, mostly the family. It wasn't anybody really outside the family. It was in the family. But they didn't say anything. They just kept on going. They were like, that's not my issue. You know, you can work too. And, you know, they worked 2 or 3 jobs. My mother was not a stay-at-home mother. Even when she did stay at home, she still was working from home. They would make up different jobs that they could do at home. And then my dad would get off of work, and they had another job they would both do together. So it was, and then I found out after I got older how jealous some of them were, but they didn't say anything to them because my parents are very forceful, you know, about we're not doing this. And I noticed also as I grew up, anybody that I guess got on their nerves, they disappeared. I didn't think about it. I just thought they didn't have time to come back over. You know how you're just thinking? You know, for me, they taught me kid things. You stay in the kid realm because, you know, you're going to be an adult soon enough. And so, but I noticed these people didn't come back. And then I got to thinking, you know, as I got older, I would ask, what happened? And they would go, oh, they said something, or they're jealous, and blah, blah, blah. And that was nothing of your concern at that time. And we just quit associating with them. And they would do relatives the same way. It's like, you know, you got to, they said, you got to keep going. And whether it's a relative or not, but they really did not go for, you know, this is Uncle somebody, and it may be a best friend or something. And, oh, call them uncle. Or if it's a stepfather, you know, you call, you know, they really, I used to hear them talk about, that's a stepfather, and the child has a dad, fully functioning dad that's there, you know, in the picture somewhere. And now we got to call this one dad, and the kid's feeling punished for not, and blah, blah, blah. And he says, we're not doing that, you know. And so if that's not your uncle, if that's not your aunt, if that's not your relative, we're going to tell you who's who, and that's the way it's going to go. And that's the way it went. And so I do the same thing. I tell my kid, that's not, no, that's your cousin. This is who. I invited my cousin over, matter of fact, for Thanksgiving dinner one day, and just not thinking, and he's sitting there talking about something. Now, this is how bad it's gotten with people not telling their kids anything. And his mom had died, who was my cousin, and he started talking, and so he said, we didn't have any place to go to eat, thank you. And I said, oh, that's fine, you know, happy I could help. And he started talking about some kind of way we got on the conversation, and he started talking about, I said, oh, you know, my uncle. And he says, that's your uncle? Told him about the little history, and I said, I'm your cousin. He says, I thought you guys were related to our other aunt who had a boyfriend at the time. And I said, he said, I didn't even know you were family. My mom never said anything. He said, I wonder why you were always around. And I'm like, are you serious? I said, where my grandfather and your grandmother are sister and brother. And I don't know what went on after that. His wife was just sitting there shaking her head. She looked like, you are crazy. You okay? You didn't even check. But soon after that, she got a divorce. She just left. She worked at a radio station and married somebody else. And I said, I hope that didn't have anything to do with that. But anyway. Okay, we're going to stop right there. And how much do we have today? I'll put this one in. We have $14.56. We have a lot of change left. But at least I get to tell you about Aunt Wocky. Okay? So I got a lot to tell you about that. Maybe next time I'll tell you about how she passed away in the bed with her money. Anyway, that's another story, another day. I hope you're warm if you're in a snow state or it's cold. I hope you're not too hot if you're in a hot state and you got some air conditioning or a pool or just some water or some way to cool off. I hope everybody has everything they ever wanted in life. Take care. I'm blessed, but I'm not impressed, you tell somebody. If you're not impressed, don't say it. Don't tell them that. Nope, I'm not impressed. Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.